The final round, we are 3-1. And we're squaring off against the God Fetus. That's a fancy arid mesa. Not sure how I feel about expeditions. My first reaction was pretty negative, but I forced myself to take some time and get used to them, and I don't know, the art for all of them is really good. I don't like the whole like, oh, it's textless with a bunch of text, you know, like the full art cards. But I like the idea, and the execution is passable. I guess they're pretty sweet. Delver, ooh. It is funny that like all I ever want is a Leonin Arbiter. Just like the best card in the deck by such a huge margin, besides maybe Vile. Alright, no flip this time. They attack and I flash into Dryad Arbor and block. Oh man, they're playing around it. Smart. Smart opponent. Fear the unknown. Talked about this last time. This card. How do you guys, or not last time, but in one of these videos, how do you guys pronounce this card? Because I've heard Gitaxian, and I've heard Gitasian, and I've heard Gitaxian, but I've never heard Gitasian. I guess it's a Phyrexian card, which we know Phyrexia is pronounced Phyrexian, so maybe it's just Gitaxian. Makes the most sense, even if it's a boring answer. Alright. Probably gonna have to path that thing. And if that's the case, I should do it now. I guess maybe not. Like if I play Ooze and it gets bolted, I take... This flips and I get bolted, I take 7. Ugh. If I path and it gets remanded. This is a Temple Garden. What is going on? The old Steamvent's Temple Garden mana base. It's possible they don't even have a basic, or that they only have one. I'm just gonna path it. I don't want to deal. They do have an island. What do you think the odds are they have a forest? You could also do this in response, or after the Delver peak. Maybe that's the way to do it. I don't want to give them 4 mana in case they're like playing Resto or something crazy. I'll just hit it now. This is a bit of a gamble, but I'm behind enough that I'm gonna take a risk. Basic Plains. Alright, so they don't have green anymore. Which is really what I was most worried about. Delver missed again, which is nice. Strand, which presumably can find a thing. A green. Their life total is looking a little low. Breeding pool. Mikado, what is going on? Crazy counter cat deck. Guess I just need to develop. Get this in there first, so that they can't bolt the scavenging ooze on end step. Miss one more time. Rats. Oh, and flip to a bolt. No bueno. Path that, bolt that. Oh. Alright. The tides are turning. Go ahead and up that to 3. And I guess cast Linvala. I'm gonna get remanded, which will stink. But again, I'm behind enough. I need to do something interesting. Well, Linvala's snap resolved, so we know they don't have a thing. I'm hoping that all they have here is Electrolyze. Or nothing. Or a Bolt. But if all they have is Electrolyze, I think I can manage. If they have much more than that, I might be in trouble. I don't even know what other card it would be. I'm just thinking of like Dramoka's command. Like pump this and fight this. Something messed up like that. Looks like we might be doing okay though. Since they didn't snap me off. Also, if they had something like command, they would have done it pre-blocks. Since this is a free block. Trades and Electrolyze would be okay. Helix? How are you fitting all these cards into your deck? That's my question. Definitely going to be a little careful with my scavenging ooze as well, because this deck has to play Snapcasters, as well as bolts. Boros Charm Indestructible. Okay. Okay. That's weird. I'll leave that at 3. Nice. Rewarded. I can put my opponent to 2. It seems pretty good. No need to play that first. And I have access to 2 activations through my Ghost Quarter. Or I could just Ghost Quarter their Steam Vents. Or their Planes, actually. But I'm just gonna play the Skews and pass. Since I'm just going for the throat, there's no need to like try and risk playing for a longer game somehow. Elephants with hammers, better than cats with knives. If you played my D&D quest, you would know that. King! God, what a sick win. What a crazy deck. Well, this is coming in. I guess these. I guess these. Don't want these, or this, or this. Oh, I'm still one short, or one over, I mean. Mind Sensor can trade with Delver, as well as mess with their steez. I like Vile. Is it like sacrilegious to cut Noble Hierarch? I feel like it's just electrolyzed fodder. Yeah, he never cuts them. See how they sideboard against Delver. He didn't play against any Delver? Rats. $61 it is. No, I really wanna draw choke. Just one Skype. Alright. This hand needs a Vial. Even if it had a Vial, I think it would be a mulligan post board. Nice. Scry to a spell. No. I always just feel naked when I get probed on one. It's like, no, my strategy! Come on, no Delver. Starting Wildwood's pretty good against Delver, I guess. Eventually. Alright. I have no clue what land they're gonna get. Hollow Fountain, sure. Sure. Arid Mesa, get some other weird random land. Stomping Ground, why not? Goitho. The Smite Father. Mine's bigger. I can't block though, because like Bolt Hierarch it makes it a 4/5. But I'm happy to race. I have Exalted on my side. Through the power of teamwork, we're in an advantageous race situation. Doesn't quite have the same ring to it. Probably just gonna play these three next turn. Don't know many runouts of like what their turn is and what my card to draw would be to change that. Mr. Rainforest gets spin the wheels. Basic Island. Serum Visions. Okay. Look at how low my opponent is already. Probe, fetch, fetch, shock, fetch. That'll do it. Bottom, bottom. That bodes well. That's what I like to see. Morgoyfs? You got it. Can't even double block. Can't attack, can't double block. Awesome. Vial. Is Vial better than Hierarch? No. I do not believe so. Beat elephant with a hammer. Worshipped by druids. Old women with sticks. Got Mega Man music stuck in my head. And this guy reminds me of Flame Mammoth from MMX. Got the opponent to 6. Basic planes. Start with a path. Path, snap, path. Geist of Saint Traft. Well, that's just chump fodder, because this is a lethal attack. It's not the right order to draw these in. Yeah. Big elephant, big hammer. I love it. Might as well leave the other vial in hand in a shroud of mystery. It would be so awesome if they just stayed back to set up a double block. I would find that very funny. But no. See an attack for 4. I don't want to chump because a 2-power thing like another Geist, 7 would help me get over a double block. Or a 2 damage spell like an Electrolyze. So I'm not going to chump yet. But I am going to have to start chumping next turn. So they get their double block anyway. Get to take 1 out. Maybe if I draw a path, I can really get them. That is not a path. Well, since the double block happens anyway and it trades anyway, I'm going to do it with the Wildwood while I can. So it is a lethal attack, thanks to not chumping last turn. Another reason not to chump that I didn't consider at the time, but pretty happy about now. Yup. I wish I had like a divination. I just need to do 2 things in a turn, but I drew Hierarchs, Vials, and lands. I'm gonna say if he attacks with both, I think I have to just accept dying to bolt. Because otherwise my attack back with Smiter isn't lethal. If I die to bolt, I die to bolt. Oh. No, alright. Still in it to win it. Come on, Path. Dismember doesn't do it anymore. It's the 4th Hierarch. Is there a way I could attack with a Hierarch here? Do 3, Smiter on Nicodle, Chump Chump. Then Smiter's lethal the turn after. And I'm left with a Hierarch. That's versus attacking with Smiter. Opponent chumps. I chump chump with Hierarchs. I'm left with a Smiter and a Hierarch. My opponent's at 3 more life. Is that right? Could it possibly be right to pass up a lethal attack here? No, because the Nicodle doesn't need to attack, so they'll just still have Nicodle back. I was thinking this would attack into the Smiter, but it wouldn't. I have to propose lethal. And then maybe my opponent doesn't kill me, and I can draw like Will Leaf Leech and go lethal. God, this game is sick. We both just bricked off. Well, he's drawn like crappy creatures, and I've drawn actual bricks. No, more dudes. Oh, it's a big one too. I don't think I have any outs anymore. Scavenging Ooze, I guess. Keep Vial on 2 because Ooze is an out. Oh, the irony. Way too late and uncastable. Alright. So let's go back to the drawing board. I think I still like this setup. File's not great, but definitely don't want Brimaz or Linvala. Yeah, Brimaz is okay. On the play, at least. Alright, I'll shave 1. I don't mind shaving Vials in these grindy matchups. Because, like, you need all your cards to do something. You can see how I lost that game was that just too many of my cards didn't do anything. This hand's reasonable, though. Pretty weird that we haven't seen Snapcaster out of my opponent. Might it like only play 2 and not draw them, or maybe boarded them out when they saw Scavenging Ooze? That can't be right. Serum Vision's not Delver. Dang it. Miss. Double dang it. Lightning bolt. It's good to know about, I guess. Maybe they'll just miss a land drop. I definitely need some help getting going. If I can go Smiter into Ooze, maybe. That's enough. I have Wildwood after that. This is a very stressful matchup, so I'm just hoping that he stumbles and makes it easy on me. Probably deciding which land to play, because if they didn't have a land, they would have just tilt past. Maybe they don't have a land and are deciding whether to bolt this voice or not. Also a consideration. I think it has to be my next land, because it's Scar's land, it's my third. Misty. What you getting? Breeding Pool Goyf? A 1-2 Goyf? Another Delver with Bolt up against Voice. Alright, so if they top, then they probably are flipping it. We saw Island Plains for basics. So probably not going to be able to raw Ghost Quarter. Bottom top, alright. Well... hopefully I can race with the help of this Stirring Wildwood. But it doesn't look good for the home team. Helix. Remember that thing I said about racing? Helix is real good at racing. I guess I just have to not expose my Scavenging Oozes for a while. Assuming my opponent has white. Like, they have Bolt, but not double red or white, so they can't go Bolt Helix. Like, if this made red or white, and they played a third land, they could go Bolt Helix on either of these pretty effectively. But we're 2 from lethal, and they're 3 from lethal. Well, 2 from lethal now. And we have Wildwood to jump in the way. Their lands do a lot of damage to them too. So they're going to have to use Helix. At some point. Sacred Foundry, take 3. Well, now, even with Helix, I'm lethal. Ooh. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Attack for 6. I think I can Ghost Quarter the Sacred Foundry because it's white and red. They'll only have white or red. Play Spellskite, which turns 3 damage into 2. Then hopefully... I was going to say attack for lethal, but I'm not even attacking for lethal the turn after. Because... I guess I sort of am. Alright. Play this first. Ghost Quarter the red-white. I have no idea what your mana base does. Not a clue. If they have a red source that doesn't cost them 3 life, I lose on the spot. Looks like they're digging for it. Molten Rain was a bold sideboard choice. I guess Stirring Wildwood is just insane against Delvers. And I have like canopies and tech edges and stuff. It's not the worst. I still am baffled that we haven't seen Snapcaster or Jace Vryn's Prodigy. Like, what are you doing with your graveyard? Nothing? I don't believe that. Here's Helix. My face. Make it hit Skite, and then the birds have to stay home. Or at least one of them does. Let's draw a path. Let's draw a path. Oh my god, if I hit Dismember again, I'm going to be very upset. Let's draw a path. Yes, Kenji. Yes. Had it. Had it the whole time. Game. All right. 4-1, only lost to Storm. This deck is great. It's a little weird to play, but I got the hang of it eventually. I didn't get a lot of the super LD draws. I had a couple, but I really wanted to just bury people. Vial is busted, and I love this mana base. No fetches, and still gets a bunch of good utility lands. Absolutely in love with the mana base, if nothing else. Great deck, Craig. Congratulations on the finish. Hope everybody enjoyed the show. And check out mtgcardmarket.com if you're watching this on YouTube. It's the awesome website that sponsors my stream and these videos. So check them out.